I was in the middle of a video and my phone crashed. Probably best it did because it was getting a little salty. I was talking about everything that went on the last 2 days, and I was leaving the track this afternoon. It was just scorching hot in Lexington. I was leaving the track and thinking about everything that went on. The horses we had in the sale and what went on with the sale. How the horses raced in Kentucky, who was racing tonight. And I had to hit the pause button. I got talking about what the stable represents, what it has represented, what it will represent in the future. And I felt myself a little angry, to be honest. And quite frankly, it was more about expectations, right? I got to the track today, and Scott came up to me and he said, "You really did a video at 3 o'clock in the morning?" I said, I had to get it off my chest. It was bothering me. The scratch and pickpocket, and then more importantly, I got a message last night and then a different one this morning from 2 clients saying they were thoroughly disappointed in Captain Incredible, which hurt, bothered me. I was angry first, and Scott had much the same face on that I did. He said, what was the problem? Well, I said, listen, I'm an optimistic person. Always. But I think I've only said it 8.6 million times. That old cliche, the horses don't know what you paid for them. It's true. It's true. But most importantly, I have no idea what other people's horses are like. And the one thing that people have to understand, and for the most part, some people just don't, I guess, is that the horses aren't machines. You just don't turn them on, check your instruments, and then drop the hammer. It doesn't work that way. Captain Incredible last night had broken equipment. His knee boots were down. It was unfortunate, but I checked them too. So he raced with broken equipment. It did affect him for sure. He paced 152 flat last quarter, 27-1 last half, and 54 seconds flat. His second lifetime start, a 2-year-old pacing colt. I had somebody say that the hype, there's too much hype surrounding this horse. He'll never get to where you said he would get to, which bothered me a little bit. Because 2 things. One, I never said anything he would get to anything. I never once said this is a world champion. This is the next beach. No, you might have said that. I didn't. I told you what Ron Burke said about him. I told you what Scott McEnany said about him. I told you what Harry Polton said about him. I told you what James said about him. I told you what Scott said about him. I had no trouble telling you what I thought about him. And of course there's optimism. Would it benefit anybody, you, me, or anyone else in the stable, if on a Saturday after training went, yeah, they're all right. Who cares? We have no idea what the other ones are going to be like, and just hope they don't break down or go lame. Who cares? Is that how that's going to benefit anybody? The reason I get up and the reason I have the fuel to do my job the way I do it is because I am an optimistic person. I look at the races today, which I'll go over with optimism. And when it comes to Captain Incredible, let me unpack something for everybody. This is where it went off the rails in the last video, so I'm going to try and tone it down a little bit. Stable.ca is made up of a lot of people that could not do what we all could together by themselves. That's what fractional ownership is. There is no way on earth that I could buy 1 or 2 or 3 shares of Captain Incredible on my own, let alone an entire horse. And most people are in the same boat. Now, the people that own a big chunk of that horse, they're both happy with the way the horse raced because they know what we're trying to do. You think I care about the Goldenrod in Kentucky? No, I care about the Breeders' Crown, the Governor's Cup, the Metro. Well, I guess he's not beating the Metro. I don't think he is. The Bluegrass, International Stallion. These are things I would like to see him do well in. And along the way, he has to learn how to race. He has to put muscle on. He has to get confidence. He has to stay sound. He has to stay healthy. We form this gigantic community. We buy these horses together because we can't buy them ourselves. I'm the exact same way you are. That's not all we do. We also give people a chance, right? Whether it be somebody who never got their chance yet, intelligent, hardworking people, or people that have been rendered obsolete by the industry. We stand behind those people. Those are our people. So I'm going to make it clear to everybody. If there's people out there that don't believe that we do a good job, or we don't work hard enough, or we hire the wrong people, or we train the wrong way, we race the wrong way. At any point in time, you can sell your shares and leave. That's not me being rude or giving you an ultimatum. It's not me at all. That's me telling you we're not changing. We got here being us. We got here doing the things we do. And sure, we've pivoted, changed along the way. There have been people that have left because of the way we've changed. That's inevitable. That's attrition. People are going to leave and people are going to come. But what you see is what you get. And if you don't like how we do business, why be in business with us? Exact same conversation I had with somebody the other day. I will always stand behind Harry Polton, Dominic, Jason, Eric, Tim, all of our trainers, all the people we're affiliated with. There are people. There may not be a lot of loyalty in this business. We're going to use as much as we can in our stable. And I want people to understand that, because it's very important to me. It's what was a founding part of this entire group. You imagine now, if everybody called, every time somebody messaged it, oh Eric, I don't like the way you trained the horse. Can you give the horse to someone else? Oh, I don't like the way Harry did this. Can we give the horse to somebody else? No, we cannot. There are people, and this is our stable. And I don't want anybody to read too much into this. Don't think that I'm attacking anybody. I'm not. This is not a public service announcement to you, any singular person. This is a public stable announcement to everybody, all of us. Because sometimes it's easy to forget that, isn't it? I'm different than you. You think I didn't want to flip out? I felt bad. I was angry last night when Pickpocket was scratched. Any of you that was watching the simulcast, apparently you saw that. I had a gentleman from Australia message me and said, you looked like you were boiling over when they scratched Pickpocket. How could you possibly know that? He said they had the camera on you the whole time. You ripped the number off, ripped the earplug string off, and threw the bike up against the fence. Of course. I got feelings. I take great pride in what we do. And I truly believe that horse should have been scratched last night. But when it comes to that vet, I tell everybody, I do my best to walk a mile in your shoes. Try to do your best to walk a mile in mine. And when it comes to that veterinarian, her job is very difficult. The last thing she wants to do is see horses get injured on her track, or anybody get injured. She's the last line of defense. Many horses going to the gate that maybe shouldn't. And there are only two kinds of horses on her track: sound horses and lame horses. And if your horse isn't sound, well, that must mean it's lame. Do I think that's being a little too aggressive? Yes. But I'm not a veterinarian. I don't work for the state of Kentucky. I feel bad for that lady. She literally thought I was going to blow a gasket last night when she scratched that horse. I could see it in her eyes. There's no point yelling at her. She's only trying to do her job. Do I agree? No. It doesn't matter. It's done. So, Pickpocket, we're going to take that large basket of lemons that were just handed to us by the Kentucky State Racing Commission. We'll try and turn it into lemonade in 14 days when we're allowed to. Best I can do. Memory and imagination. Somebody said, well, Anthony, he did race good. He had him parked to the half. You could have put him in a hole. You guys, you're going to have to learn one thing about me. I didn't come to play checkers. I didn't come to watch the races. I came to race. And taking memory and imagination back to 8th would be doing exactly what happened when he was 6th for Dave Miller. He didn't come here to finish 6th. Surely 53 should be enough to hit the board. No. 53 flat will secure you 8th place. Great. Now we know he can't do it there. What he can do is go to the Pennsylvania Sires consolation, which he fits, which he'll do. And I can assure you, although it won't be a cakewalk, it will not be as difficult as race he's in Kentucky. So Memory and Imagination and Pickpocket are going to leave tomorrow morning. Pickpocket's going to go see Dr. Latessa, although, quite frankly, I don't think there's anything to find. In 14 days, he's going to qualify, and we're going to start racing him, either at the Meadows or Scioto. Jason just told me tonight, Scioto's closed in 12 days. So, and I know Jason McGinnis, and I do not blame him at all, does not want to be going down to Dayton. It's like an hour and a half past Scioto. But we take a trailer load full of horses. We will, for now. And if we have a couple, send them to Stacy. That's all. Pickpocket will race, Memory and Imagination. Fits in onwards to 6, I think, everywhere. He can race at Scioto, he can race at the Meadows, he can race in the Pennsylvania Consolation, Irish Consolation, and then he can go to Corbin. I'm sure he'll be fine. Defend his title from last year. And Captain Incredible. Sure, there's stuff we can work on with this horse, and this is what Scott and I talked about in depth today, is that the horse can be improved. Right? There's things we can work on. It wasn't gravity that had those knee boots fall down. It was touching his knees. Not bad, but bad enough for them to come down. Now we can tape them. That's one thing we can do, obviously. But we know the spots we can work on. His feet, his ankles, behind. He's going to be tighter next week because he'll be coming back in 8 days instead of 14. 12, whatever it was. He'll be a sharper horse next time he goes behind the gate. We're going to have our vet look at him. No disrespect to the vet, Dr. Andy or Jennifer in Kentucky. Both do fantastic jobs. Mike's our guy. That's our vet. So Mike's going to have a look under the hood. We're going to have our blacksmiths look at him. We're going to ask Nick Clegg if he can take a look at his shoes. That's who helped us with Rose Run Alexander. What do you think of this guy? How can we get this guy? He's not pounding his knees. His knee boots came down. One came down coming off the car, the other one at the 5/8 pole, and there was minor marks on his knees. So he's not pounding his knees, but he is rubbing them, brushing them. What can we do to help him? We're going to try and bring him back to Eric. Better horse. Bring him back to our guy who's going to race him in Kentucky. Now today, and I got looking through the program today, right? I thought the Green Glitter raced okay. She should have been second, but she raced okay. I've come to the realization that she's not a killer. She's not a great horse. She's just a good horse. She'll probably be like a Prince Charmer or better. A horse that I have respect for, by the way. Just a meat and potatoes, go out and get it done type horse. That's what I needed her to be. Now Eric started on Regimate last week. I noticed a lot of people call it Regimate. I really struggle to call it that. I can't do it. Regimate. That's what it is. Worked on her feet. Kathy worked hard on her feet. Totally different horse type. Quiet. Never once offered to pace or make a break. She was great in that regard. Could you have done a little more? Yes. He could have been second. We both know you could have been. She wasn't. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world at all. But I get looking closer at the catalog. This program right here is riddled with six-figure horses. If you want to feel insignificant in this industry, just go try and race a couple of horses in Kentucky someday. Every major outfit, every major driver, trainer, and horse bought at last year's sale, for the most part, is here right now or on their way to Kentucky. If you want to feel like you don't matter, go race horses in Kentucky. My God Almighty. It's you look around. All the big drivers are here. All the big trainers are here. No, just quick. So Green Glitter's fourth today. The horse that won it was looks like a homebred. He is a homebred. Todd McCarthy's horse, 100,000. Andy McCarthy's horse, 150,000. The 2 and the 3. Oh, and the one that I just beat for 5th, Pansy B, that little puppy right there, $300,000. Now you want to complain about Captain Incredible? What about them? The point of the story is this. The reason we're racing our horses right now in this manner is to teach them. They'll either be a better horse in the fall, or they'll be a real good 3-year-old, and that's the plan. That was always the plan. I've never pulled any punches about that. I told everybody you would be ready for, let me hear it, remember what I said, tell me, August. I said he'd be ready for August in Kentucky, and he was. We plan on him doing his best work in the fall. Breeders' Crown, Governor's Cup, I think the Matron, Bluegrass, International Stallion, things of that nature. Now, as I'm announcing that to you, I don't know that Ron Burke has 1, 2, 3 2-year-olds that can pace 48, 49. How the hell would I know that? I don't know there's an entire race full of 2-year-olds that'll go sub 150. How would I know that? And that's not to say that our horse can't or won't. I have no idea. All I can tell you with absolute certainty is he's 3 seconds from doing it. And I think that boils down to expectations. You can blame me and say I hyped the horse, or I was overly optimistic, or I painted a picture that was too bright. Okay. Here. You're painting one that's way too dark right now, in real time. That's how I feel about it. So, Green Glitter, 4th. Raced not bad, but, here I got 2 horses coming off breaks. And the reason, I'll jump ahead of Gymboree for a second and talk about Rosetta, because the reason I continued on to the front was I went to I warmed her up. We warmed her up in an open, happy bridle with a screen on, earplugs, and a hood. Totally different from last week. And she behaved. Come off the track, and I said, this is what we're going to race her in today. What about the head check? No. What about the pole? Nope. Murphy blind. You guessed it. Nope. None of that. What she is on right now is what she is going to race in for the most part. And we did. First time in all of that stuff was today. Last week had a lasting impression on me. She was psychotic last week. Now again, another filly we put on Regamate. I can't say it. I can't do it. Another filly we put on Regamate. Worked on her feet, worked on her issues. But as all this is going through my head going into the first turn, my number one job is do not, for the love of God, do not break rule number 1. Do not put this filly on the run. I go to put her in the 3-hole, I can feel her just start to root her head a little bit. Nope, absolutely not. Away you go. And I put her on the front. Is she good on the front? No, not as good. Although I have no idea how she is with an open bridle on. She's never wore one in her life before this afternoon. And I'm thinking that as I clear to the front, I'm like, I'm just going to sauna her over the half 58 apiece. Wait until somebody comes, then we're going to see what's what. We did. What's what was she finished 6th. Trotted 56-3, last quarter 28-4. Last half in 58-2. It's not a disgusting mile. What's disgusting is how many trotters can go very fast right now in Kentucky. The A division, 51-4 they went today. 2-year-old trotting fillies. This is the C division, 55-4. Now, was I upset? Yeah, sure. I'm of the belief if you're in the C division in any jurisdiction, 56-3 should probably get the job done. Didn't even get her a check. But I did not break rule number 1 today with anybody. So we get 2 fillies now staying off the list. I'll rewind to Gymboree. Trained her hard in the middle of the week. She did show a few little specks of blood. That's in my head. She's tight. She did bleed a little bit 96 hours ago. How's she going to be today? She's a little hot going up to the gate, but she fools you. Because right when they say go, I look left, it's almost like she looked left, and she's like, do you see what's going on in there? We can't possibly find a hole in there. Let's just take back to 8th. And that's what we did. I go to start her up 3rd, 4th over, and everybody just sits out there and stogs the flow. When they did it again. And Dexter drives up the inside of me. Now I'm not 8th. Now I am 9th at the 3/4 pole. Dave Miller makes a break. I float her out, back out onto Tim Tetrick's helmet. I think Tim's horse attacks down the lane, clears the front, and Gymboree closed up hard. 55-2. This is the C division. This will feed into our sale talks this year. I can guarantee you that 100%. 55-2. She's 9th at the half, 8th at the 3/4 pole. Second beat 3.5 lengths. 55-2, 28-2. She raced awesome. That isn't the most spectacular thing that happened. Now, Gymboree has what? 5 starts lifetime? Let's call it 6. No, she has 5. 5 lifetime starts. We've qualified her, schooled her, and raced her 5 times. We've scoped her 12 times. Since she has been in the state of Kentucky, we have never once scoped her where there wasn't even a remotely small amount of blood. The first time she raced in Kentucky, there was quite a bit. Then there was less, then there was less, then there was less. 96 hours ago, we trained her. There was some there, less than a 1 out of 5, but there was still blood. Now you have to think to yourself, if there's a less than 1 out of 5, if there's, let's call it 1. If she has a 1 out of 5 of blood after training 96 hours ago, you would think that would compound today, and you would see blood. We scope her, and for the first time, maybe ever, since leaving Ohio, she was clean. Not a drop of blood. The vet was surprised. Eric was shocked. I don't blame him. I was shocked too. But obviously it showed up in her performance, right? Not a drop of blood found. So kudos to Eric and Kathy. Hell of a job getting this filly from bleeding quite a bit in Oak Grove to all the way back, fought all the way back to not bleeding at all now. And this only plays into my confusion surrounding the Lasix program for horses. Every horse is different, and I'm not going to waver. I do not support no Lasix on any horse ever. The way they do it in Australia, Europe, I don't care. This is North America. This is the United States. And I do believe the horses are safer and better, and the industry is safer and better with Lasix. I just do. Having said that, I can't quite quantify what happened today. I can't quite tell you how that came about or what just took place. And there's a good portion of me that doesn't care. I'm just happy she did. So hell of a job by the filly, a hell of a job by Eric and Kathy to have her very good today. I did an okay job driving her, I think, and she raced exceptionally good. Second, 55-2. And then we got to my girl. I love this mare. I love this filly so much. Grand Slam deal. She was another one of those horses. I'll be the first to say it, much like Green Glitter, where I just didn't know, is this going to be a nice horse? Or is this just a well-bred horse we're racing? I want to believe she was good, but then I'm watching her race in Oak Grove, and I'm like, she looks ordinary. I don't know. Put her in the Wildcat. She raced very good last week. Last week was the first sign of life. The first sign of life where she actually raced very good. You know, that first day where she come first over, they went like 2 minutes 59. She's second. Okay, who cares? It's Kentucky. I can run around the track in 59, it seems like most days in Kentucky. It's not actually true. I'm not a very good runner. But last week was the first time she raced really good. Now, it also put her out of the Wildcat. The Wildcat's more like a maiden series, right? Non-winners a 7,500. They have another level. Non-winners a 12.5. That level wasn't filling, so they called and said, do you want to put her in the C division? Yeah, sure. I guess. We get away 6. She's trotting great. She's just turned into such a fluid trotter. I really highly doubt she'll need hobbles next year. Get away 6th. We're at the half. 50 56-1. I watched the thing flash up, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, how fast are these things going to go? Surely the front end's going to come back around the last turn. I'm waiting for them to start to come back. They're not coming back. Not at all. At all. I kind of knife her through and get her to the outside. I watched them. 124-4. I know I'm in range if they collapse, which I can't believe they're not. But halfway down the lane, it's pretty clear to me they're not collapsing. They're still trotting. I'm coming forward, but I'm not going to catch them for a quarter of a mile at this rate. We go into the wire. I just beat Yannick's horse at the wire. And I'm looking. I look over. 53-3. See, this would be like the Prospect Series going in 53 for 2-year-old trotters. I was shocked. A little angry, and a little shocked. At the same time, I'm thinking, Jesus, she just trotted 54 apiece. Yeah? 154-3 last quarter, 28-2. Very, very proud of that filly tonight. She looked amazingly good. I was really impressed with the way she went about her work, how she did it. Everything was perfect. And that is 3 full seconds faster than she's ever trotted in her life today. Very impressed with that filly. Now, as I'm talking to you, I did watch the first 2 horses go. My Wicked Heart. Somebody sends me a message and said, My Wicked Heart is a terrible animal. We have to sell her. Okay, I don't think I disagree. A likable animal, but terrible if you're referring to her ability. I think that's a fair assessment. I think we can say with all certainty, not a very good horse. But the selling her part, that's been the problem for the past 3 weeks. Now there are people in the stable that will buy up your shares for $70, I'm sure, or $60. But truth be told, that's probably more than you're going to get for her right now on Gate or Preferred. I would have sold her otherwise. What'd she pace tonight? 2 minutes. She'll eventually be gone. It's just the timing is not good to do it right now. I guess there's an argument you may just stop the bleeding. Yes, there is. Absolutely is. We'll do the best we can to work on that over the next week. And then I watched Bruno race. I thought Bruno raced pretty good. Third, I don't know what they went. They must have went 58 or 59. First over, a little bumpy in the turns, but first over and raced good. Turned into a decent horse. And I've been pretty happy with Bruno the last little while myself. Now, I have not seen the other races yet. I'll bring those to you a little bit later on. I have a 3-hour drive ahead of me. I think I'll finish up my night's videos, deliver them to you when I get home in Brunswick. I'll be home very soon. So, with that, I don't want anybody to watch any part of this video and think that, 1, I was talking to you. I was not. Or 2, I was angry. I was not. I just thought every so often it's good to clarify the position I'm in, the position we are in as a barn, how we got here, how we operate, and if there'll be any deviation from that in the near future. I think I've nipped that in the bud today. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. It wasn't an excitingly great day in Kentucky, but it was a decent day. No one made breaks. We kept everybody off the list. Everybody trotted faster today than they'd ever trotted in their life before, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. He did a pretty good job doing it. I think we ended up with, a second, a fourth, a fifth, and a sixth. I'm not throwing any ticker tape parades, but we did okay. Now, watch the rest of Ontario, and I'll report back to you at some point in the next couple hours. Take care.